Hi, my name is Bob Arbogast, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to put together a short video for those of you that may have some interest in my vehicle, the Lincoln MKZ. I thought I would go over specifically some of the highlights and the features of the car, some of the technology in it as well. But before getting into that, I thought I would actually start by telling you a little bit about why I was interested in the Lincoln MKZ and ended up purchasing the vehicle. My wife, if she was here, would certainly attest that I like gadgets, I like technology. Certainly I've got drawers full of tech at home, and I'm constantly kind of experimenting with something new, whatever it is out. And a while back, I think it was really the technology angle, I became interested, as a lot of people are, in Teslas. And I really loved a lot of tech that you saw in the vehicle and some of the other features too. And I know many of these exist on other cars as well, but this is where my interest arose. I love the tech, and I also love things like the panoramic roof, glass basically completely on the top. I really love the look of that as well. So unfortunately, I didn't have the budget for a Tesla, so I was looking at other options, and that's when I came across the Lincoln MKZ. I really love the look of the vehicle. I was really impressed with the technology as well. It's got a lot of features and technology. By no means am I suggesting it is a Tesla, but it's got a lot of really great features and a cost that isn't nearly as high as the Tesla. The features, just to name a few, you've got the lane assist that will keep you within the lanes. You've got the adaptive cruise control on it as well that will keep you a predetermined distance from the vehicle in front of you. Got blind spot monitors on that. There is even a parking feature for parallel parking that I'll show here in a little bit that will handle the steering for you and is great, for tight spaces and parallel parking, because you just basically will take care of the brake on that and the car will handle the parking. And last but not least, in terms of features, this one's got the panoramic roof as well that I've really loved. So have my kids, and be sure to show that also. So let's go ahead and let's start jumping into the features. Okay, so for the first bit of technology that I thought I would start with, I thought it might be useful to show you that parking assist feature that takes care of the steering for parallel parking situations. You'll see that I don't have enough vehicles to set up on either side of the parallel parking, so I've got ladders that you see out there set up, and I'll show you what that looks like and how easy the screen instructions are to follow, and how, if you're in a city or other area, this really is a nice feature to get you into tight spaces pretty quickly. Okay, so basically how you do this, if you're pulling up to an area and you see a spot that you want to parallel park, what you do is you kind of slow down by that spot and you put on the parking feature, and you're going to see that it's scanning for locations to parallel park. Right now it's looking this feature there, and now it's going to start scanning for parking spots on the right side here. And so I just kind of go slow here to pick those up. Told me that it found one, so now the forward, which I'll do now, telling me to stop, put it in reverse, and then I'll remove my hands. You can see from the prompts, and it should just kind of steer me right in to that spot. Okay, you can kind of still see the screen. Back up. Tell me to stop the vehicle, to pull forward here slowly. Now it's saying to back up one more time, and it will get me straightened in the spot. And now I've taken my hands off the steering wheel and I'm just controlling the pedal now. You can see that the steering wheel is kind of angling me in behind the front car. Now it will start flipping around as we go back. So I thought I would take a moment to show you this panoramic roof. I think you can see it in frame here a little bit. It really takes up most of the entire ceiling. Really was one of the features on the vehicle that I like the most. So I'll go ahead and show you that. Hit a button here to back that up, and we'll get out and take a quick look at here just how large that glass panel is. Maybe get up here just a little bit higher. So one of the nice things about the panoramic roof is that when you're in town at lower speeds, it opens up fully, and because you're not going as fast, you know, wind noise and that really isn't a problem. But the nice thing is that when you pick up speed, when you start to get closer to highway speeds, the panoramic roof automatically adjusts in a way that, you know, still opens quite a ways and gives you that nice open roof feel, but at the same time it minimizes noise. And again, that's something that happens automatic, so you don't have to manually adjust that or keep track of it as you go. Now, another thing about the panoramic roof is you know, that it does have a coating on it so that it gives sort of like a sunglasses effect. There is actually an SPF rating on it, and I don't remember what that is, but for my liking it dims it quite a bit. But if you don't like that, there's also a shade here that you can put over it as well to block out the light further. Now, there are two electronic displays that you'll see, one to the right of the speedometer and then one to the left. Both of them really give you a lot of information. I thought I'd start with the one on the left so that you can see that first. If you back up, the first thing that you can look at, and all this I should say I'm controlling directly from the steering wheel. So the first one you can slip through, you can go through a lot of different display modes where you're seeing different, you know, efficiency information, how many miles per gallon you have, how many miles are left on the tank, you know, that sort of information. Okay. Moving down in this information one, you'll see that there's various menu options here as well. The settings, there's a variety of things that you can turn on and off here, I believe. So cross traffic, that's actually, I believe, when you're backing up. I've noticed that from time to time it'll say that there's a car coming from my right or left. The cruise control settings there, whether it's a normal or adaptive. Adaptive, of course, using the radar and keeping you a preset distance from the car ahead of you. The lane keep system is on here. There are front and rear parking aids as well that will beep and alert you if you're getting too close to anything. Your blind spot warning, your collision warning. Now, I don't know if this is technically a heads-up display or not in the car. I will say that on at least one or a few occasions I can remember when I've got the adaptive cruise on. Actually, I don't even think that I had to have the adaptive cruise on. When I came up on something quickly, there's actually like a red X and a noise that was a pretty loud alerting noise as well that plays when you come up on something quickly. Now, the right display is basically going to mirror all the functionality that you have on the touchscreen that's divided into 4 quadrants, and then some additional features as well. And you can control all of this from the steering wheel, and you know, more right here in your line of sight as you're driving. The first one is your entertainment. You can see here that you can go and select through all of your different input sources, including, you know, Bluetooth in case you've got your phone hooked up, and you can control everything right from here, from this right electronic display. You know, moving down, you've got your phone, and once you get your phone hooked up, you've got all, you know, your contacts and quick dialing, all that sort of thing in there. Navigation, if you have this going, what you would see is that it's going to give you your turn-by-turn directions, again, right here in your line of sight. Your settings you can also control from here, as you can see. You can also, as this is a hybrid, there's a screen here that are showing you basically how efficient you're driving. I think this is a Ford Lincoln thing. Here as we're moving along, the car also has adaptive cruise control, so it's using a radar to determine what you have in front of you. If we come up on a vehicle here, I'll be sure to kind of show you what that looks like. as well. You'll notice right now that there's one line in front of the car. That is setting your distance. So there's different modes for basically how close and comfortable you are. For myself, I like it basically as close as it can get. I think that's still a pretty comfortable distance. And what you'll see happen is that when a car approaches, there will actually be a notation on that screen as well that shows you that you've got a car right in front of you. This car has lane assist technology here, and you can see it right now on the electronic display on the left that there's two green lines that are lit up. And you'll see that if I start to drift towards one side, it's going to change to yellow, and then it will steer me back towards the center of the lane. I thought that one of the other features that I try to get here is the blind spot. That you'll see the yellow light that just went off there as the car went by. Almost everything here is touch, you know, so whether we're talking volume or you know, the fan, temperature control, all of it is really touch activated here. You know, you can tap or slide, alternatively, whatever you want to do there. You know, you've got this the touch screen up here with the phone in this quadrant, where you can bring up all your phone settings. You hit the home button to go back. You've got your navigation up here. If you had that set, obviously that would come on there to get your directions. And again, those directions would then be reflected on the right electronic display here that's right in front of your steering wheel, the line of sight as well. Here, bottom left, you get your media controls with all your different inputs, including, you know, your Bluetooth. It's got an SD card as well. It's got inputs here in. It's also got inputs for USB. It's got an AV input option as well. And then we've got the climate control, and I should mention that you have there both heated and cooled seats, also a heated steering wheel, and the seats actually in this thing are really cool. There's a lot of adjustments on the seats, but the seats also have a massage function as well. So there is a physical button that you can put on the seat, push on the seat. I'm going to show you what happens as I push that when it comes up. I just pushed the button on the side of my seat, and now it is starting you know, to massage. You can see that there's an adjust function and a massage function where you can choose, where you can choose the intensity of the massage. You can also adjust the different settings of the seat as well. Really a nice feature. Another nice feature of the car, especially if you have kids, my kids love it. If you go into settings and you can go into ambient lighting. And here in ambient lighting, you can choose all sorts of different settings for the interior lighting of the car as well, which is very nice. Okay, the last feature that I thought I would show you is the remote start functionality. The car came with the factory-built remote start. I, however, work in a large corporation. I park a good distance from my vehicle, so maybe like many of you, the factory installed remote starts is of relatively little utility to me on a day-to-day basis because the distance it simply won't reach the car. So I went through a company called Drone Mobile and had, I believe it's a modem installed on the car, but the basic purpose is to be able to do the remote start and stop from my phone, basically unlimited distance. So I thought I'd show you that here briefly. There's a home screen here in the app that gives you various information about the car here. You can see the engine status, the doors, whether they're locked or unlocked, whether the doors are closed or open, same with the trunk and the hood. Also have the inside temperature of the car. I pay for the basic version because I'm just interested in the remote start option primarily. I think that's like $5 a month or something like that. There is a premium option, however, of the software that you can get that I know will activate the GPS functionality and maybe some other functions as well. So the interface, I really like Drone Mobile. In fact, I thought if I have another need in the future, I'll be going with them. But the main screen is actually very simple. You bring that up. I would note that the Add to Siri there at the top is a relatively new feature. I believe that it now has Siri integration, so you can just give a command, you know, saying something like, hey Siri, start my car. So then in terms of actually using the remote start stop, you just hold the button here. It's going to send the command to the vehicle, and you'll see that the car starts right up. And the same would be true if you want to lock the car as well. You just hold down the button there for the lock functionality also. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the video. I hope that you found some of the demonstrations, the features, and the technology in the vehicle helpful. Certainly any questions that you may have, please feel free to reach out to me. I also should make a note about COVID here and the concerns there. I would just say at the forefront that I'm, you know, highly cognizant. In fact, I've got an at-risk member. My wife is pregnant in our household, so certainly we'll be very cautious about taking necessary precautions should you want to come, you know, see the vehicle, take a drive, etc. So again, thanks for taking the time to look. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.